what's on your mind?
Hey there, this is Cooper from Telepathic Bunny Comics, and just hanging out with my crew members here. Shadowpunk's brand new, and Mr. Belmont, which everybody knows, been around a
I've
little
been around the
while.
block.
He's been around. He's been around a lot of blocks. The last
Yeah.
little while.
I've been chased down the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny you mentioned that. I was chasing some kids' dog down the street at like midnight last night. These kids lost their dog and we're chasing a dog, and I'm on my bike. Right? Crazy.
Oh my gosh! Woke Breaker says hell. The reason I asked Shadowpunk to come on today is because Shadowpunk's got a hell of a campaign that he's about to launch in June the 18th on the Bancroft Show. He's got one of the best videos I've ever seen on a campaign. It's actually a movie, isn't it? About 9-minute movie.
Yeah, it's definitely a 9-minute movie. And the beginning of it is a trailer I've been using for the book.
Yeah. I saw the trailer too. The trailer's jaw dropping. And this is all you've been working on this for like 9 years, right?
Nine years.
No,
I'm sorry, 4 years. 4 years.
Right. I'm not. I mean, that's bad enough, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, let's admit it. But I'm 9 years. I would say that's like kamikaze.
Yeah. It's
blast.
My apologies. It's 4 years. It's 4 years.
Well, you make me look reasonable, right? I'll take
it. Over promise and then adjust. Yeah, makes it look a little bit. 4 years is pretty incredible, though. I mean,
it was. I mean, I was never gonna do a comic book, and I was gonna get a job. I was gonna doing that type of work.
Right.
But the world fell apart, and then I was like, I'm not. Where am I gonna move to? Right. I mean, these things are not looking good. Options are bad. And so I thought, and then I love, obviously, we all love comics. So, I mean, I just started, I said, let's do it, let's try it and see if I can do it. And, I think I knew it would be challenging. It was a ramp up. I really had to get used to doing all the drawing and coloring and inking and all that type of stuff. Right. I mean, it's not exactly easy.
No, none of this is easy. As a person who's basically paying creators, because I'm the writer only, and just getting all that corralled has been one of the greatest challenges of my life.
Really,
just being a project manager, writing and doing all the writing has just been just incredible. It's a task. It's just a task. It really is. Belmont's pretty much just his project manager alone, and the poor guy's been promoting his butt off for months and months now.
I mean, that alone is a ton of work, just being online and getting the word out.
Yeah. Especially if you don't have like your own channel set up and people haven't seen your videos or things like that. Having a presence, I think, is a real leg up for a lot of ways.
Yes.
We got your boy Hojo just popped in.
Hojo.
Happy Memorial Day. He is wiped out from. He took a long journey with a couple kids in tow and an angry wife yesterday. So.
Ouch.
I'm just assuming that they had an angry wife in tow. You take small children on a road trip. The wife is eventually going to be angry. At least my mom always was. My mom was always like, "Get me home before I murder some kids." I think it's built into the process.
That's right. It's part of life. It is what it is.
Right.
I have a question for you guys. They got the two big brains and I want to throw something by. I got 3 big brains, and a lizard brain.
Yep.
But so let me ask you guys this question. Okay, so I've been doing 3D sculpts for some of the creators, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the problems I ran into is that it's just there's not enough money. I can't spend a whole week on something for nothing, right? I mean,
Right.
You're right. I mean, logically, you're going to lose everything you got. You lose your shirt, as they say. So
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out a way that I could do them for people and still make it financially worth it. And
Right.
one idea I had was charging them a lesser fee, but for each character that each figure that you sold, I would get like a couple bucks or something, or whatever it is.
Right.
Does that make any sense?
Well, let me think about that for a second. Yeah, a lot of very few people like get anything on the back end. It's usually after they sell the product to you. That's pretty much the end of their involvement in any of the situations. So I could see that getting overcomplicated.
Yeah, really.
You know, expecting like residuals on the back end.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just okay. So that idea maybe isn't the best one, but I'm just trying to find a way that I can do that and get cool stuff to people and make it reasonable for everybody.
Well, have you thought of just doing the 3D? I know the 3D modeling alone. If you got that at a reasonable rate, because I've looked into the modeling and the people that do the 3D modeling are really charging out the ass. I think the cheapest I saw was like $700.
Yeah, I mean, you got to. So if the sculpts I've done recently, that's about what I would charge, and that's like less than minimum wage.
Aaron.
Yeah. I thought you weren't gonna be home, Aaron.
I thought you said you were going to be doing this at 4:00.
No, 3:30. It's on. I put it on the advertisement so Belmont wouldn't yell at me. So it was on the advertisement.
Dun dun dun.
Yep. Even I couldn't get mad at Bunny, Aaron.
All right.
I feel that.
Your boy Hojo says, "Oh my God, she wasn't angry, just frustrated, worried about the youngest we had at home and his first overnight without us. You know how it goes. 85 inches and what seems like 2,000 people.
85 degrees.
85 degrees and what seems like 2,000 people. Yeah, I got you. It's like manufacturer royalty. That's what he's. Yeah, that's pretty much what he's talking about.
I mean,
yeah.
The reason why that doesn't work is because, especially within Comicsgate, you're dealing with a pretty small pool of people. You're not going to make your money that way anyway. I mean, most likely, because the person, it's going to be how many figures are actually sold. Like, how many figures has Mandy sold?
Yeah,
And
it's a good
that,
question,
like,
right?
$45 or whatever. I have no idea.
She sold a decent amount. I mean, like, I think she limited to 100.
Okay.
Right, but I think when I initially saw, like, the first day, it was like 15 or 20, and then I went back again and it was a lot more. But did she sell all of them? I don't know.
Yeah, right.
And
well, let me.
That's somebody that's got like a lot of push within the community, shall we say? That when they have
Push.
like a FOMO.
What's going on?
What are you doing down there, Luke? What in the world?
So you need to get some more sleep, Luke.
Seriously, too much salt in your diet.
I think you're de-evolving or something, man.
Okay, so it looks like 46 out of 100.
Okay.
So 46 out of 100. I mean, if you said, okay, hey, every one you sell is another, like, even, $5, like, you're kind of shortchanging yourself,
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really a dilemma, and maybe that formula is not a good one I came up with.
I mean, I think the only one you can do is just, like, if you believe you're really good, you're worth. I mean, these guys that are really good, like, there's just no question they charge you like $1,500 for a high mesh, high poly. I've been looking for the good ones, and it's anywhere between $700 to $1,500, and the
Right.
$1,500 is like, if for $1,500 I can get something that looks like a movie, like somebody that looks like, you know, like they walked off a Paramount studio and did it. But
Right.
Yeah.
for $700, you can get somebody pretty good or somebody really good that isn't well known yet.
Right.
Because that's the other thing too, is it doesn't really matter how good you are if nobody knows that, you don't get paid for that yet.
Right.
Yes, and Shadowpunk is really good. He is really
Well,
good.
you know, the difference between what I've done and the 1,500 level that you're describing is one more step where I would put like skin texture or leather texture, and you know, like, and you don't see that when you print something small. But if you're printing something that's like 6 or 8 inches, you can see all of that detail, right? And I
Yeah.
think that's where you get to that level where it's worth it to spend the money, like $1,500, because you'll see it, you know. But
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
sorry. I'm sorry. Luke is killing me down there, man. He's killing me down.
Okay.
Well,
You're very easily slayed. I'm just... So, I mean, I was talking to Shadow about this the other day because I'm looking at possibly putting a 3-inch figure in all these collectors boxes, because we're going this one way. I have this item in my in one of my stories that's called the Eternum Cavia, which means the eternal cage, and it's a book that, like, when you write a story in this special ink, when you write a story about like one of the Fae, they become a fable within the story and locked in it, like it's a cage, you know, they're trapped within it. And so we thought, okay, we'll do the Eternum Cavia, and like every collector box have a different one of these Fae. And the first one we were going to start with was the one that's kind of is really big in the first story, which is Rowena. And you know, like, because X, and the whole reason I did all that is because X, like, does not want to just put pictures on a box. He's like, no, we can't just put pictures on a box. There's no concept. There's no theme. What is that? That's not art. It's like, okay.
Oh man, X is a galaxy brain, man.
So, you know, so we came up with that whole idea, and then he started to envision it. And when he starts to envision it, I'm like, okay, we found something he likes. Let's,
Right.
You know, but
Yeah,
we were looking at putting in like an ash can, a 3-inch figure, and then art that you can only get inside the box, prints of it inside the collector's box. So it's an actual collectible box, not just a box with everything that exists in the campaign.
well,
I like looking at boxes.
yes, you do. Discharge
Especially
a
nice
larger.
clean one.
Yeah, does discharge a larger upfront fee? Your work has already spoken for itself. Change what you are worth, Shadow. Yeah. So just charge what you're worth. That's not change, charge.
well, you know,
Right.
I mean, I like that theory. But the thing is, I do like to, you know, I do like to want to help other creators, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that is one thing you kind of want to do, because I think that everybody benefits. I know that sounds like idealistic, and I'm not trying to say that I'm like, you know, whatever, but I don't know. I do like that. I want to help other creators. So, but you know, like, that's hard, because you go, well, okay, I have to set aside a whole week.
Right.
And you know, I mean, at certain times of the year, it's probably easier than right now.
Yeah.
But you know how it is. But yeah.
Sure.
So that is a dilemma. The whole thing is But you know, I'm super psyched. About I'm getting that new 3D printer in August, and I'm gonna be able to. I'm gonna be able to make like you know, 6 or 8 or 10-inch figures.
Right.
Holy shit.
I mean, that to me, then I am gonna put all that next level detail, because you can't print something big without that cool detail.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely.
So, I thought, you know, I'm like, I can't afford to spend $500, $600 right now on something like that. But then I thought, you know what? Now's the time to do it.
Yeah.
There's a niche for it, right?
Yeah.
And I'm totally getting into that stuff, right?
I mean, there's been a niche for it for a while. There was a guy in the community for a long time named Model 316 that was fantastic. He actually worked for Paramount Studios.
Oh wow!
And he was gonna do a lot of the figures for a lot of the bigger up guys, but they had a sort of like spoken agreement and not a written agreement. And one day those guys just decided they didn't want to do it anymore.
You
And
mean
Model they just decided, like, he had already worked on their figures. Like I saw them, I had seen them. Like I saw what the models that he had done, and he had worked on like Red Rooster, Cyber Frog, all of them, and they were good, really good. He built a 3-foot tall Cyber Frog.
Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
And then he just like I said, they said, oh, we're going a different way with it one day, and he just kind of left the whole community.
Yeah.
It's,
Imagine.
It's tricky business. I think I had made Salamandroid and I did Cyberfrog, and I gave those to Ethan.
Yeah.
He saw he saw both of them actually, and I think he really liked them. And I'm like, just let me come on your show or something, And I never heard anything from him. So.
Yeah.
But
Ghosted.
it did attract a lot of people to my channel.
Mm-hmm.
Right, which was a bonus, right? That I think I'm going to get something out of it, and I'm giving them out. I gave a couple out.
That's a hard thing, man. Like especially the other deal is because he's so big right now. Like he's that's $5 million industry for him now.
Mm-hmm.
So if he were to take like a free solicitation and then use it, you could actually sue him. And there's a lot of collateral and equity there to get, and I'm sure his wife knows that.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
You got to be careful with that kind of stuff. On why he doesn't or why he does take those sort of things. If you're gonna solicit him, I mean, it's better just to do it like via DM.
Right.
Well, no, I wanted to tell you how it happened.
Sure.
I was watching his stream a couple years ago, and he's talking about making figures of his characters. And I've been making like hero clicks for a long time, doing this thing at a different level. And so I emailed him through his I somehow got his email address, and I showed him a picture of my thing. I said, I'll make you some guys. Just when I get ready to do my project, my book. Can you plug it for me?
You said you showed him a picture of your thing.
So I sent him the pictures of Salamandroid.
The salamander. Oh, salamander. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Thanks.
That's what I call it. That's what I call him.
Oh, that's what you call it. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
You got to pull the lizard
its
out, all
nickname.
right?
That's its
You might
nickname.
have a copyright issue there, Shadowpunk.
A cease and desist. You have to stop calling
As
your
long
ring
as you don't
Salamandroid.
sell it, we're good. So as long as you don't do any kind of reptilian
Solicitation.
porno.
Yeah. Don't advertise the Salamandroid, and you'll be fine.
But
Although now I just think that'd be hilarious to watch a porno and all of a sudden some guy whips it out and it goes Salamandroid TM.
Oh my god,
Oh dear
dude.
God.
I think he actually would put that in his show. Like, yo,
I think you have to be in John Holmes territory to call it something like Salamandroid. Though.
Right.
Anyway, though, so as far as your figures and everything, though, I would say that you're worth, the 700 is like if you're saying it takes you 70 hours to do it,
Right.
I think the minimum you can charge is $1,000.
Really?
And like I understand that what you're saying is most people can't afford that because most of the people are they got like a $10,000 campaign is a good campaign.
Yeah.
And so that's just not feasible. Well, then it's just not feasible for them, and you're not selling to them. That's just the way it is. If you every once in a while, like if you just have the time and you really like a campaign, then that's up to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could put aside a week or whatever to like, okay, I could make that. That's not a too difficult of a caricature to create or whatever. And I could do that for this much. And they say, well, I can't really do 1,000, but what if I could, can I do like 500 plus, some of, plus like something, for the ones I sell or whatever. You could do that if you work it out with them. You know what I mean? And if it's okay with you, you just have to know that most likely or very likely you might not see very much from that. You might see $10.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then the other problem is getting it printed. That's the problem with the creators is that they're going to have to find a way to have somebody print their figure that I made in 3D. And
Right.
that's a whole nother process.
Yep.
right? And so there's a huge barrier from you wanting your figure to getting one that you can sell.
And then it's
Well,
just
here's the thing.
it's
It's
an
actually not that
unpainted.
huge of a barrier. I mean, what do you think I'm doing? I have a guy that designed my model. He did the bust, and now he's got the legs and the base. So for the next campaign, I can print off the whole statue. I can do them any size I want. I've got a printer. I actually found the guy on Fiverr to print them all in, to do all of my
Design work.
No. The to print them off in resin, because I've got a PLA printer, and so I wanted to do them in resin. So I just got that guy to do it. Took him a couple of days. He's been shooting pictures back and forth. It cost me a little bit of money, but a little bit. I'm still doing well for what I added him to the campaign for. So it's not that hard. I mean,
well, but that's
just got to do a little
that's the key,
legwork.
though.
I mean,
you have to be. I mean, if he's not going to charge you a ton of money, then that's a big bonus to making it possible. You know what I mean? Because if he charges you $1,000, that's going to be challenging for most people, I would imagine.
Well, it is, but here's the thing: people have to learn to invest in themselves. Like, so it was expensive to get the bust, but I told him, like, okay, so I'm gonna have to do this in stages, because I need to be able to sell some of this to make some of my money back. So we did the bust first, with the intention that the base is gonna go away and legs are gonna go in there, right? So we did the bust. That was a year ago. Now he already had the legs done. He had the legs done while I was sick, and now he's finishing off the base. So I'm gonna pay him for that. So now I've got my full model. Next model I'm gonna do, we're getting ready to start another one after this one, but it's gonna go in the same stages. So, there's ways to do it. You just gotta. I mean, it's like any business. You've got to be smart with it, but you've also got to realize that you're going to have to invest in yourself. I worked with a group of comic guys for a while that it frustrated me because they had a lot of potential to really impact the market, but they wouldn't take the. You guys aren't even taking me serious because I'm bacon, right?
You're bacon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're not even taking me serious.
I'm actually
Anyway.
mystified right now.
I just see the bacon neck, and I'm kind of hungry.
I don't know what this dangly bit down here is.
I'm gonna make a
Yeah.
meme.
It's like
gonna
a
be
turkey
Bunny
neck, but
looking
it's
at the
bacon.
bacon with Buddy with the angry face looking at Bunny.
Yeah.
Roger
Anyway,
Ryder says, bring it home, bacon.
Yeah, but as I was saying, the thing with this is they had the potential to really impact the market, but they were afraid to take a chance. Every serious business opportunity is a gamble, right? So
Yes.
I was one of the people presented with that Liberty Spencer's deal, okay? We had to weigh out the facts that we had. The facts that we had made that thing look real, the way it was presented to us.
Yeah.
Now, we knew it was a gamble, because everything in life is a gamble, but even though I got took, I don't regret stepping in to do that deal, because had it been real and I missed out, I'd be punching myself right now.
Right.
Now I'm just like, okay, well, he fooled me, Now I know he's a grifter. I'm not doing the business with that guy anymore. So, and I learned a little bit,
Right.
in that process about distributors and what I need to be looking for and the additional questions I need to be asking. So I chalk it up as, something that I've learned but you've got to be able to invest in yourself. You've got to be able to take those chances.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, though, because you make a good point. If let's say somebody started selling their figures, and they made a lot of money, right? Then the model will be there for people to go, it's worth the investment. And that really hasn't happened yet,
Well, because no one's trying it, because it's an expensive investment. So it was an I'm gonna switch my cameras so you can see what I'm working on here.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I mean,
I mean,
you've had two of the biggest people in the community try it. I mean, three essentially have. I mean, Ethan is in another stratosphere with it. He's trying to do actual, like 13-point articulated figures or something, and he's
yeah. Well,
ran out of
I mean, come on, that's
money issues with that. But these other guys have
course.
done both Godlike and Gymshock have figures. And
Yeah.
I just said, I mean, Gymshock has already been, it's in band, I think, but it's not closed, and it sold 46.
Well,
That's not a whole lot.
But here's the deal. I did the action figure for Trash Man. It's $35 buy-in. I made money on that because it was individuals. It was based on the individual. I made money on the thing. So this thing right here, I found the guy to do this for me.
That's cool.
And it looks so. I paint these and finish them myself.
That's cool, man.
But so he did this model, okay? Now, this model, I'll be honest, he cut me a deal. It cost me, I've got 3 different versions of this. Without hair.
All right, guys, I got it.
The base and, see you,
I
Aaron.
see you, man. See you, Aaron.
See ya.
The base and body separate, and I've got different sizes. It's super detailed, all right? So we got this thing here, and I think I paid $600 for that model. I think that's what I paid. But I paid for this model, and now I've sold some at conventions. I'm selling them now with this last campaign, and they're going to be available on my website after this campaign's fulfilled. I'm going to have a couple on there at a time.
How much you been selling them for?
I've been selling them for 35 or 45. So.
Well, one thing I love about the way that looks is that it's big enough where you can see the character. You can see like if you do the whole body, then the whole thing kind of has to be larger, right?
Yeah.
So you can see everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks
when it's
great.
larger, it will be it'll be a 7 or 8 inch character.
Oh,
with
I
the
see.
bust.
He carved it. He sculpted it.
No, he sculpted it in whatever program he uses.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, it was all. Yeah, no, this is another print.
That's a
So
that's
this
a
is
PLA
one that I
print.
did. This is my PLA print that I've
Yeah, he was
done
saying
some finishing on. You can see
paints
where
them
I've
and
sanded
everything.
out the. Try to get the focus.
Yeah, it looks great.
Whoa, focus.
Yeah.
Can't get it to focus.
But you
There
can
it is.
also get it
You can
without
see
the
where I
hair.
sanded it out. Yeah, you
Why
see where
does it-
I sanded it out.
Yeah.
I sanded down just so it's nice and smooth.
Does the character not have hair at certain points?
No, he's always got hair.
So why
But
would you ever
I
want
did
it
it to where you
without
could
hair?
print the hair separate.
Oh, I
it's-
see.
The bigger it is, it's more complicated with
He
all
was
the
going to make it like a
detailing.
Barbie, You could put different accessories.
Sure.
It was going to come with
That's what we do.
earrings and, probably some gauntlets, and
Purse. It's got a purse. It's got a lovely,
but,
lovely leather
he's going to
purse.
have a man purse,
But I've got
Hybrid shirt.
I've got
Well-
this in different sizes, so I've got it bigger and little.
Yeah.
So this is the
Oh,
little one,
okay.
and then I get the big one, right?
So the way I painted my Shadowpunk figure is, ironically, it's exactly the way that you painted yours, because that silver, that like deep silver feel, that gives it, so you can see all the detail, right?
Yes.
And it pops.
Yeah.
Everything pops like crazy.
Yeah, that's why I went with the bronzing, because it's number one, it's easy and it's fast.
Yeah,
Number two, it looks really, really good.
it does.
So, yeah, I printed these myself, and I'm paying for the resin prints, which is, it's not a bad price. I mean, and he did all the finishing on it and the priming. So all I got to do is just start painting the thing. So it's saving me a lot of work, and it helps him out. He's a small business. I'm a small business, but no, if you do the legwork, you can get it done. So a big normal statue is what? Between $1,200 to $1,500. Well, that's what I'm going to wind up spending on this full statue. I'm just not doing it all at once.
Right.
Doing it in chunks so that I can make money along the way.
Right.
Now the
Right.
action figure, was less detailed, so it was cheaper.
Yeah.
But I think we did those for 35 or 40 or 45. I can't remember. I get my prices mixed up because I have to look at my spreadsheets. But
I like the way that you thought that out. You figured that out, though. Like, you broke it up in a way that's makes it possible for you to make money along the way and
Okay.
Wait, yeah.
So
It's the same
Belmont,
way.
Yeah.
you're an ROI guy.
Oh,
What do you're an ROI guy, return on investment guy. You're a business guy. What do you think? What do you think of this? Would you commission one for $1,000 for smokes?
Not me,
or-
because I'm a beginner.
Okay.
This is my first campaign, but Luke's been around. He's had numerous campaigns. He's fulfilled before. So
Mhm.
he's like farther along than me. So I didn't really. I did want to make those little muscle figures that Bunny was talking about, and I looked into
The
that for a
catches.
while.
The catches. Yeah.
So I thought they're affordable and small, and they would fit in the Gemini. But the only person I found who was able to do them has a long waiting list. So,
Yeah, that the article
Eric.
or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. So okay, so I mean, and that's I think that's where about everybody is really, because almost everybody that isn't, I don't know, I mean, Comicsgate really isn't that many people, not that many creators in general, and so you look at it, it's like the top grew, and then you have the B, the ballers, and I think the ballers are probably the end of where it's really lucrative,
Right,
and then
right.
but then you've got like Luke said, he sort of segmented it and he created it, like he said, he sort of pieced it out together where he can have a really detailed, fine figure, high mesh, high poly of like 7-8 inches at the end of it. That's that's like something you'd get at a comic book shop, right? And you'd expect to pay like $1,000 to $1,500, and he's saying that's what it'll be, by the time he has it done. But he just pieced it out, and so that's good. I think that's fine. But yeah, I mean, again, like, that you just have to look at your investment, and I do think people need to invest in themselves, but there's a point of practicality in all of it.
Yeah.
What can you afford? Like if you're talking about, hey, I'm stuck in the ghetto, like working fast food or at a retail management, whatever, right? And I'm working 40 50 hours or 50 60 hours a week, plus I'm trying to put out this comic book and just barely got it out with a colorist for $10K or whatever. You can't really afford $1,000 for a figure.
Sure.
No.
Well, no. When I sell the full figure, I'm not. Well, you're talking about the commissioning. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course you can. But I mean, okay. So for instance, let's just look at because you brought him up, EVS, when he did the action figures, it didn't do. I don't think it did what he thought it would do. But because Comicsgate is a comic book movement. Now, movie fans are the ones that want collectibles usually. Some comic book fans want collectibles, but toys are kind of at the level that he's doing it. That's a huge buy-in from the backers. I was going to buy the toys, but I was like, dude, that's too much. I can't do it. I can't justify that for some action figures.
Right. And they're not really action figures. The ones I got don't have any articulation.
Yeah.
Oh, I
so
think that's the whole deal. Like, I think that's what he's paying. It was my understanding that the new ones do.
But see, I couldn't justify that. Now, when Todd McFarlane did the new Spawn, it was an $80 buy-in for an actual action figure. Yeah, I can do that. I can do $80 for an action figure that's going to have things added to it as the dollar amount goes up. Yeah, that's absolutely great. I'll do that. But that's where I was running into with the with that one. But so if you're going to do it, you've got to have a plan to be able to do it. I wanted it. I thought it'd be a fun thing to have. But I also surveyed my backers and found out, do you want it? The action figure went really well. I've got 2 left, and I think I'm going to keep those for myself.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna do 100, I think, on the Kickstarter campaign, and if that works, then we'll do more on the next one. But we're gonna do 100 for the box, and hopefully we sell all 100 between Zevis's art and all the collectibles and everything else. If and if not, then if we sell at least like 60 to 70, I think that we're above board. We're black, and we'll just sell the rest at conventions.
That's a lot of figures to sell, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's 100.
Yeah. I mean, So personally, you know how there are these action figures like the one you have behind you, Cooper, and then there's the statues, right? That
Yeah.
don't move. So I think people have a different impression of the difference because I don't really want an action figure at all.
Well, these are actually statues.
Are they?
They were advertised as action figures, but they're actually statues. The only thing articulated about this is the tail.
Okay.
I mean, there's no articulation anywhere else on it.
I gotta admit that would be annoying to have that long of a tail on a toy all the time.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a pain in the butt. So.
Yeah, I like the something that looks like you know those old Remington statues of like the horse and the Indian on the horse.
I mean, this is a good one too. Snow globe.
That was a
That
good
is
idea.
cool.
The snow globe.
I will be honest though. I think I would be a little annoyed if I thought I was getting an action figure and got a statue.
Well,
It depends
it
what
would
you
be
want, right?
Yeah.
So tell everybody, guys, that it is not an action figure. You know? But
what's-
to your point,
well-
Shadow, like I wouldn't just be selling the figure would come in the box, but it's not just the figure. Like I think Gemshock for Mandy is just the figure for that price,
Right.
and maybe like a couple comics or whatever. This is everything that'll come in the box, the print, the special ash can for that character trapped in the Eternum Cavia and the figure. So it's all that stuff in the box.
I see. Okay. I got you.
Yeah. Well, it's like what Belmont was talking about, the Keshi figures, the old muscle figures. You remember the little?
Yeah. Those are cool.
Yeah. And I mean, that would be a pretty easy. I mean, a pretty cheap 3D sculpt, but the production of those would be the issue because they're not like you can't have hard Keshis or you ruin the whole entire reason for a Keshi. You'd have to have the rubberized.
So what
And,
do you do? Do you make one and then make a mold?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's. I
Yeah,
think
you
that's.
can make,
Yeah.
I was
Go
gonna
ahead.
say I looked into doing some characters like that.
Mhm.
I kind of wanted to do all of the hybrids characters like the what do you call it? The old
Muscles.
He-Man toys.
Oh, the
He-Man
the
toys.
He-Man toys. Oh, yeah.
And they got the soft heads on there.
Yeah.
And so I started looking into that, and that is injection molding, which is not bad.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people, there's ways that you can do that yourself, and there's other people that you can, commission to do that in small runs, but it's expensive to make the molds. So that's the killer on that. That's why I decided to go 3D printing, and then we can 3D print. When I do go back to the action figures, I'm doing 5-point articulation, like the old Star Wars characters.
Oh, cool.
Right.
So that's going to be the plan. The guy that's doing my statues now, Roberto, he's going to be the guy that I'm probably going to go to for the action. I hired another guy, and he took my money and ran. So
Wow.
yeah,
Really?
so I'm out that money. Yeah, and so I'm leery about hiring someone else that I, and this guy was recommended by another person, friend, and yeah. So he took my money.
How do you make a figure like that, like you described, where the hands maybe rotate, they plug in, right? How
Well,
do you?
your modeler, like, so you're a modeler. There are certain cuts that you have to do in the model to make the attachment points, and there are templates that you can download for. What is the main program people use? It's
I use
not
3ds
Blender.
Max. There's Blender
okay,
is one of them.
Max,
Yeah, Max is one. That's what I use.
and I think there's another one too that people use.
Yeah.
But so there's like template for the cuts and that. So when they make the action figures for me, I'm not articulating the hands. I'm intentionally going for 5-point articulation. So the head, shoulders, hips, both hips, legs will move.
So the shoulders, do you have like a notch where like a screw would go in? And
No, it's actually notched, and what we do is after it's printed, we stick the PLA down into hot water, so it softens it just a little bit, and then you pop it in
Wow.
right as it's cooling.
That's
and then
crazy
it
cool.
locks into place. Yeah, so it's a way to do that. So the model for those are going to be super expensive, to get that done. Comparatively speaking, so it's probably going to be
It's kind of cool.
$500 per.
Kind of
figure,
cool.
but
Somebody figured that out, though, right?
Yeah.
it is.
That's kind of neat. I mean, the innovation never ends.
No.
Well,
I like that.
I wound up spending a lot of time on YouTube researching each one of these elements because I was like, okay, well, I need to know what kind of action figure I want to do. Now, there is a way to print the head, the arms, and the legs, and then print the front and back, but have a screw attachment, 2 screws on the back that hold it together, which is probably the way I'm going to have the model made, so that I can just screw it together, and we can prime and paint everything, and then assemble.
Right.
That way I don't have to worry about trying to pop things in. That way I
Right.
know everything's nice and secure. So that's the plan that I've got, is to have 2 screw points on the back. So
It's cool.
Yeah, the old
it's
GI
just
Joes,
research.
the old GI Joes, man. I remember the articulation on those were
Oh,
so
yeah.
good because you had like the elbow, and then you had
yeah.
like a circular joint, and then the lower torso is a spring. The legs would move on a spring, yeah. But then the knees had the articulation, man, and you could pretty much do any pose with them that you could do with a human,
Now you can make models like that, but it gets so expensive to try to do, and a lot of that is front and back pieces glued together.
Yeah.
But it's done on an assembly line. So it's
Yeah.
very quick.
Right.
Yeah.
And it also helps that your character, let's say your character is Batman, let's say, or Spider-Man, yeah, it's going to make the payout on doing all that work way more worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
Right.
if it's
we're also talking about back then. They used to make cartoons.
Yeah.
Toys. They made cartoons to sell the toy.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But they
It
were
was
good.
dual market.
They were good cartoons, though.
I mean,
They
look
They
at
were
Transformers.
good cartoons.
but
Transformers is
I
the
mean,
best example, right?
yeah.
Now they have
Yeah, I had all of
movies
them.
that are psycho crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that what came first, the chicken or the egg? Did the cartoon come before the figures, or did the figures come before the cartoon? That's
Well,
always
for
been the
Smart,
question.
They come
for
together.
me. Yeah. They land together.
Yeah, it's. But usually back then it was the toy, was the intent, because that was capitalism. Yay. Let's sell these toys to these kids. And
It's Memorial Day,
man,
capitalism, America.
America. I mean, it worked really, really well. But it's that kind of thing. If you've got people that are really into what you're doing, then it's going to sell, So I didn't do the 3D model until I know I had a following for my characters. Hail,
Tell
Dark
everybody,
Side.
Tarks 9.
So
What's up, Tarks?
Hey,
so now it makes sense for me to do those things because now people want them. I limited the number of mini busts that I did.
Yeah.
I tried to put it in a very affordable price range for people. Now once I start doing it's a 7-inch bust is what it is with the stand. It's 7 inches.
Yeah.
It's a lot, obviously it's a lot bigger. When I do those, they're more expensive. But the full statue are going to be hand painted, so those are, but actually like his colors. So that's going to be a little more expensive too. So individuals, there's going to be fewer of them. Unless I can find someone else that can do that for me because I'm much slower than I used to be. But the other thing that I've done is you can go to my website right now, go to the store, and you can purchase the STL files from me for $5.
oh, cool.
So you can print it yourself.
Oh, that's pretty cool, man.
So that's like selling a digital comic.
Yeah.
That's no work for me now. I've already paid the artist to do the rendering. The STL file's there. You know, you've got every option. You've got the small bust. You've got the large bust. You can, and immediately you're able to download that file for $5. You can start printing it yourself. And I mean, that's an easy way to set up your store to just keep things evergreen. You just got to talk about it. I never talk about it. You know that I got it, but.
You know, speaking of 3D models, Tarks won one of my giveaways. He won I think he won the Gem Shock.
Yeah, that's right. He did.
So he's up in Canada, that guy, and it's gonna be cool. It's kind of really, you know, it's really exciting for me to like see the people like figurines like that I spend so much time on.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, wow, this is cool. People really dig it, you know, and you're giving them away for free, but they seem to really love it. So,
well, let me point out that Mr. Shadowpunk over here has spent time on a lot of things. Have you guys seen the video? His mini movie. You mind if we show that Shadowpunk?
yeah, you can show it if you. It's kind of long, right?
Yeah,
I'd love to see it though.
Everybody good with that?
I'm happy to see it.
All right.
It's about 9 minutes long, so
Yeah.
I mean, go for it.
All right. Yeah. Put it in the private chat for me, and I'll pop it up there.
Okay,
You
let me
hadn't
find it.
downloaded it already?
It's on eBay. I mean, eBay. It's on YouTube.
YouTube, yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of last second invite him on. I should have prepared. You're right.
Let's see. Here we go.
Giving you a hard time, man.
I know.
I literally just made the Nerd
Todd,
Bacon merch
see a
store.
Todd sighting.
Oh, there's a Todd sighting. Oh man.
You know, if you want,
What's up, man?
you can play it, and then we can talk. If you turn the audio down,
Yeah.
I can talk about it.
Okay.
Right? People have, you know, just something to talk about, I guess.
Yeah. So Todd. So man. All right. Let me go ahead and pop this up right quick.
So it took a long time to make the movie. Before I started I really had never done any kind of like character animation, and it's a totally different thing than like motion graphics or something, right? It's like working on rocket engines instead of Volkswagens. You know, it's just two different things completely, you know, but they use the same software. So yeah, it was quite an education it's like got to figure out how do the characters talk, and I had to build rigs for the faces of each of the characters, and so that got super complicated, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I also had like you had to figure out how do you make things look natural when they move around, right?
Oh yeah. Well, okay, let's play this thing. Got it pulled up. All right. Everybody ready?
Do it. There we go. Playback quality.
Okay, I might have forgot to share the audio. Everybody hear it?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Okay. All right, here we go.
again. Well, I'm already in
The
trouble.
hair.
Let's have a little fun.
Yeah, that took a long time, man. Trying to figure out how to do the hair, and I had to buy a plug-in.
Every time I ask these guys a question, I get the runaround. What's going on? Huh? Hey, what the heck? Look who's coming. Look.
Yeah, those are rednecks. I know those people.
Oh, big surprise. Always making everybody wait.
This time we'll teach you a
Is that
lesson.
a ginger?
Hurry up.
Yeah, that's a
Grab your
ginger.
sling
I'm getting it. Hold on.
And
Those
just
gingers.
over here.
Seriously.
I know what I'm doing.
Those are mullet. That's a mullet.
Ow!
Yes! What a
Idiot!
got him! You hit. Oh, that was so close. Son, listen, this is our last chance. You need to make this one count.
Don't worry. I've got just the thing.
Ow!
Whoa.
Boy, what have you done? She's doing
Definitely shows her toughness.
She's better than Ratatouille.
Seriously.
Okay. Maybe.
Whoa! Whoa!
I'm not sure I can get you out of this one.
What the hell?
Boys, next time, try not to think so hard.
Oh. Give me that thing.
Freckles. You
You
got
don't
freckles.
think it's odd we're traveling towards the ocean?
They said it was a shortcut. That just means we'll get there faster, that's all.
It's always something new with these people.
Well, I think we should just trust these guys.
I don't know. Something just doesn't add up.
Guess who's back?
And speaking of trust, look who decided to show up. You know, one day, those stunts are going to backfire on you. And nobody's going to be there to help.
Who needs help? I can handle myself. Hey, Dad, look what I pulled off one of those houses.
Oh, look at that.
Oh no, not another piece of junk.
I'm gonna clean it up. It might be worth something.
Whatever it was, it's worthless now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that
look
could
at
turn
it.
into
Don't
a
you
weapon.
get it?
Goodness.
I have my hands full.
Well, that's kind
I
of where
need you
the impetus
here
is for her
instead of
stars that
collecting
she
junk.
shoots.
Or whatever else. you're
Oh,
doing.
right.
Here,
right.
it's about time you did something useful. I got work to get done. And get rid of that. It's filthy.
all the detail, like the netting and everything.
A lot of those textures I shot on my
I
cell
know
phone,
leaving home is tough.
Yeah.
and then
Your
I
mom
just
really
turned them
needs your
into
help
like a
right
big
now.
texture, you know.
Yeah, but she treats
Oh,
me
right,
like a little
right,
kid. And I'm sick of it.
Just do it for me then, okay?
Yeah, okay. I can do that.
And stop picking on
Good
the
job on the
neighbors.
facial hair.
Doesn't help.
Not everybody gets that right.
Thanks, man. They're all the hair stuff was tough.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Mira! Now come back here and put him in his crib.
And before you forget, tie everything down. We're heading through the mountains soon.
Whoa. That's a long way down.
Mira! I thought I told you not to hang over the edge like that.
Oh, come on.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Then you have to
Okay.
deal with the heel. And now
It's
you're
one of the better
cool.
dystopian worlds
I'm
I've
not
seen
even
in a
listening
while.
to you.
Feel that pretty.
She acts like she's so perfect. Let's see how she handles this.
Oh, what the hell was that for?
I'm just
Was
playing
he
around.
flirting with her? What in the world
Come
was
on,
he?
whip it. Not bad for a girl.
Oh, I got it.
Don't start crying now. Just a game.
I think it's time for a little payback. Try holding on to this.
Ah, that's
Give me your
blood,
best shot. Come on, hit me. That's it? That's your best shot? You little shit.
Who's crying now?
You're dead. You hear me?
Oh, yeah? What are you gonna do? Shoot me with your slingshot again?
No. Something way worse.
Ooh, am I supposed to be scared now? Don't make me laugh.
Oh no. This time I'm gonna carve you up.
Fine. You want some? Let's do it.
Was that you?
No.
That's pretty.
That's incredible, man.
Thanks. Yeah. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is at one point I'll tell the story in a comic book of what happens to the family.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because she's still with her family at the end of this, right?
Yeah.
So if the comic book starts and she's separated from her family, and you don't know why. So yeah, so I won't be able to obviously do a whole nother animation to solve that problem, right? But yeah, so
Well, that's I just like the fact that just kind of shows what we're capable of, what we can do on an individual level, you know. What we can accomplish, you know, with the technology available to us, you know.
that's true. Yep.
And I mean, I like any time I see somebody in the community do something new, you know, or something innovative or something that I haven't seen before, you know.
Well, you know what I saw that was really great recently was Tiger Blue had the animated comic book, and I think that is a lot. That's feasible for people to do.
Yeah. Well, if you've got the guy that he uses for his for the book art was a professional animator for Disney.
Okay.
And so he's the guy that did Lumina Vox. And so he did like an animated trailer for Lumina Vox that was jaw dropping. So
wow.
He is fast though. He's one of the fastest artists I think I've ever seen.
I could tell. I think Tiger Blue is already making issue number 2, issue number 3.
Yeah. Two's coming out, I believe. Yeah, you guys ain't got any questions of Shadow about that the animated movie?
How long did it take? 4 years?
About 4 years, yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons I didn't release it on a podcast was the reason why is that all my detail that I worked hard to make disappears when it gets pixelated, right? And then the audio is off often. You're like, oh my god, I worked so hard, and right, and I'm like, so I wanted to at least release it on so people could watch it on YouTube.
I should have uploaded it. That's on me. I should have uploaded it.
Yeah, it is what it is. But I expect it because it's kind of just a nature of podcasting in my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it took like 4 years. And the people that did the voices were friends of mine. And my one nephew did the young kid. And when I first recorded the audio, he wasn't very self-conscious at all. So his audio was really dynamic. And then his voice broke. And then so I had to re-record all the audio again and reanimate everything.
Right.
And I had to sort of pull it out of him to get more animated. Right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's pretty incredible. Yeah, I mean that's I guess all of us are kind of like ultimate goal is to have an IP that has like a toy line and cartoons and
right.
And so you're starting out with that. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's really a crazy fluke, right? I mean, what are the odds that I would actually go to making animation, then make a comic book of the character?
Right.
It didn't happen. I didn't plan it out, and so
4 years is dedication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you ever watch Parks and Rec?
The what?
I know of it.
Yeah. So in Parks and Recreation, this guy Ben loses his job, so he starts working on this stop motion animation, and he's been working on it for ages, right? Like he's puts all this work into it, and he hits play, and it's like 10 seconds.
Oh, right.
He's like, all that time for that?
Right.
Animation feels that way to me.
It is. I think when they do those movies like the Family Guy and Simpsons, they take like a year to make the episodes, right? And they have an army of people.
Yeah. And they use a lot of stock stuff too.
Yeah.
Like there's things that they can, like mouth articulation, poses.
Oh, right,
can, be reused. Right. So a lot can be reused.
But, and it still takes them that long.
Yeah, it still takes them that long.
Yeah. Let's see. Todd says, "Wow, 4 years. That's dedication, man." Yeah, it really is. That is incredible. I got a suggestion from Belmont, which I think is a good one. So we're gonna take the next next minute or so, and we're gonna play taps for Memorial Day. Everybody okay with that?
Yeah, cool.
Yep.
All right. Let me share the screen right quick. Right tab. And all right. All right.
Nice.
I had to do that. Good suggestion, Belmont. Anyway, so that campaign for Shadowpunk is coming out June the 18th. I forgot to put the link in the chat below. I'll put that out as soon as we get off here. Anybody else got anything they want to share or to push? Right quick. So I know
I got
Belmont's
my new
close.
show, The High Stream.
Yeah, Belmont's got a show called The High Stream. It's in the Genesis Crew link tree. Click on Belmont and it'll pop right up. Luke, I've got both your your website and your campaign in the links
Thank
below.
you. Appreciate that.
And Buddy, you're opening up your Kickstarter in a month?
No, it's going to be more than that. I've got to do quite a few pages that X and I are working on. We are in full production mode, so hopefully it's done within the next couple months. But then it's got to go to print, and I mean, he'll do pre-press like within a week, and then it's got to go to print, and 100 pages, glorious looking art. That's going to take a bit, and then there's possible secondary books with that. So we've got quite a bit of work to do. But once we get a print date, then we're going to go ahead and look at opening up the Kickstarter, because then I can say, hey, the IGG is closed. If you want those covers, get them now, because they're going away. And we're going to have everything new in the Kickstarter.
So what kind of what are you expecting from Kickstarter money wise?
I don't know. I mean, I know that the person that I'm working with, in order to network it and push it out there, I believe they got about 20,000.
Really?
And I think I have a more marketable product than they do, or they did. Sins is, it's, as Pixel says, artsy AF.
Yeah.
So, just because of like the way Xevious presents things, I mean, it can sell on just art alone. I mean, I could sell prints of Sins and do well. And then, and we've set it so that pretty much every page has at least some print-worthy like panel or isolated part within it that we could do. Then there's, obviously like the different marketing aspects, which are, fairy tale, fantasy, graphic novel. It's going to be very, Sandman-esque, and that's going to come out on Netflix really soon. So once that comes out on Netflix, people are going to look for products like that. They're going to be like, what else is like this? And if Sins is out there on Kickstarter, it could be huge. I don't know. So
in your mind, then, is the audience from Indiegogo is totally separate from the Kickstarter?
Oh, it is. That's been proven several times. I mean, that's the reason.
Okay.
Like, that's the reason why, like Iconic sells most of their comics on Kickstarter. Like,
So
they'll do like, I think they do like 150, 200,000 now.
Who's this?
Iconic Comics.
Really?
Yeah, every time.
Their stuff is top notch.
Oh yeah.
They put out. It's like it's like 50-page hardback book. Normally is what it is. And they put out 3 or 4 of them a year with a bunch of different flash, like the cards and they're doing figures now where they're selling. I saw recently where he had figures, made that were like articulated by magnets, I think.
Oh, cool.
And so they're doing those now. I don't know how much those are going to be in their next campaign or whatever. But anyways, there are people that are really successful. I don't expect that. Because I don't have an audience over there. I expect that, I'm going to go over there with its, global frequency, and we're going to do well. I think I'll do well. I mean, I think it's a fantastic product. It's a great IP. Everybody put it in front of loves it. Yeah. So that's all I can go.
How do you then market to Kickstarter people? Is there a way to do that?
Well, that's what Neff knows that I don't. And that's one of the reasons why I'm working with him.
Yeah.
He's, going to help me like reach out to those people. He says they're pretty exclusive and they're pretty difficult. But again, like, I think that especially for me. I mean, I'm pretty irrelevant in the community. I don't have like any kind of voice this way or that. You know what I mean? Because the only thing I
You're
want
a
to do is
talking
just,
dinosaur. How could you not have relevance?
I know, right? Like all I want to do is just create a great IP, just create a great story. So that's what I'm all about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've just created a great story. I hope as many people who want to love it, and we're just going to put it in front of a bunch of different eyes, and hopefully we sell a lot. I mean, I need to sell probably I don't know, like 15,000-20,000 to break even.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely put them through the money at it. So I wish him nothing but the best. I think Kickstarter is definitely more of that style, that like feel.
Yeah, it's more of a it's a fairy tale, and it is a slice of life fairy tale at that. There's not a there. What action there is kind of in a painted style. Action is more like you painting the end of what the action was, and then sort of just writing about it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, there's some like dynamism you can put into it, and X keeps telling me that, but every time we try it, just looks like it pales in comparison to his normal style.
The artwork that I did see was really cool. It was explosive, is what it looked like.
Oh, I think you're talking about the when she's rising and the phoenix is bringing her from the world of the dead. Yeah, I mean, and that's those kind of things are really good when you do that. But I mean, that's like a whole page. You know what I mean? Whereas normally, like in a comic book, you have you do have your splash pages, but this is like a lot more splash pages than normal, I would say, or because it's just such fantastic art. Like I don't even, I work really hard, even as a writer, not to overstep the art, because the art is it's gorgeous, it's beautiful, and I don't want people to jump out of the moment because they see 600 words. You know what I mean? Right. So I want them to just be able to like follow, like the words more lead across the page and tell you what you need to think, or tell you something that you couldn't think on your own, or whatever, or might be ambiguous, but the picture tells the story, because I've written that picture too. That's the picture I wrote him. I wrote that I want this here. I need this feeling here. And then when we get it, I rewrite the dialogue so that the dialogue fits the page. And, I think that's why, or one of the reasons why it works so well, is because I'm not gonna, I'm not trying to kill the art, with like 9 chat bubbles.
Yeah. Let me also point out that Miss Rena, in her comic Black Rhapsody, has passed her first stretch goal. She's at 6,500. So there's a print that's available now because she passed that stretch goal. So if you haven't seen Black Rhapsody, there's a Belmont just dropped a link in the chat.
I read your mind. I knew you were going to mention that.
Yeah. I don't have Frog G, so I'll settle for Belmont.
Justin B. Instead of Frog G, you got
Justin B. You got Justin B.
You're just like, you're settling for, I will settle for the DJ,
No, I appreciate Belmont. Thank you very much for.
I think that, it's that Rena is, I mean, because she came out of nowhere. She just started like, I mean, she's only got like Twitter, really. You know what I mean? And the live streams. And she was able to fund her book and now get a new cover. And she's on her way to the 8,000, which is color, I think.
Yeah.
So, like, clap for her, man. I mean, that's badass.
Todd strikes again. Fog Bee.
Fog Bee.
I love Todd. Anyway, all right. Thank you for coming on with us, Luke. You really helped out today, man, answering a lot of questions and stuff. It's a pleasure having you back in our orbit, dude. You still with us?
No.
Oh, I had my mic muted.
Okay.
I was like, these guys have just been ignoring me this whole time.
He's being attacked by the stormtrooper behind him.
Oh, right.
It's obsessed with bacon.
Yeah. The bacon thing, that was a little odd, but it is what. Yeah, it's odd for people that have a velociraptor. Anyway.
Yeah, it was even odd for that.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Anyway,
It was fun hanging out with you guys today.
yeah, well, yeah, it's fun hanging out. Mr. Shadowpunk, he's going to be launching on Belmont, Bancroft, the other B, Bancroft, on June the 18th. Check out. He's on Shadowpunk on Twitter. He's got a link to his campaign there. I also put it in the description below as soon as we get off of here. So, all right, just pay, all these campaigns, try to support them if you can. Thank you for coming to the channel today, everybody. That is all we've got, and y'all have a very good Memorial Day weekend. Anyway, all right, bye everybody.
See ya.
Have a good weekend.
Tell me what's on your mind.